Good morning. How is everybody today? Gee, I guess it's kind of a dumb question. The reason we're all in this room is probably not the things that you roll out of bed and be the happiest in the world about. We're all dealing with cancer. And notice I say we. I'm diagnosed with stage 4 pancreatic and abdominal wall cancer. Have some in my sternum where I had open heart surgery in January. Rough year. A couple little nodules off to the side. By the time I got the report back from the doctor said, Mike, you need to start your chemotherapy immediately. That was on a Tuesday. Friday I was hooked up to the chair, just like you all know, and went through the procedures. And I've been in my 3rd week of it and have 6 more weeks to go. Some of you have already been through it and completed it. Some of you have already just starting, maybe going on to in the next week or two. But certainly we're all in this together. Back in January of 2012, my goal when I joined Liberty University online classes was to become a psychologist dealing in crisis management. I think I picked a good one. I want to deal with people who were dealing with crises, and certainly terminal illnesses or illnesses that are listed as being terminal are definitely a crisis in someone's life. So what my goal is actually take into private practice when I graduate. And luckily, being a junior going in, I only have 2 years to go. When I come out, I'd like to go straight into private practice. And what my goal is to be educated enough in enough different areas to be able to talk to different people for different reasons. And rather than having to call in experts for this or that, I might be able to just guide people in the right direction by having some information that's available. So I've taken the opportunity of the cancer and what I'm going through and have used that to move forward. And in doing so, I'm moving into a nutrition part of it. I've looked up on the internet, I've done a lot of research in the books, and just found a couple of simple things that I could actually use in my day-to-day practice. Especially with dealing with someone, whether it's cancer or HIV/AIDS or any of the diseases out there where nutrition becomes so important to us. And one of the things that I ran across along the way was the color wheel. And the color wheel was invented or written about by a Nancy Bahalia on the Livestrong website. And we'll get to that in just a little bit. But one of the backgrounds that we have to go to when we look at nutrition for the body and how important it is, in 1 Samuel chapter 30, verses 11 through 12, an Egyptian is lost in the desert for 3 days being chased, has not had any water, any food, and King David reaches out to him and offers him water to get him initially hydrated, and then he also offers him cakes. Well, cakes aren't cakes of what we think of today. Cakes were these little breads that were made out of the grains, and in it they added figs and they added raisins. So you can have fig cakes and raisin cakes, and that's in this story. And within a couple of days, the Egyptians started feeling better, and the story continues on throughout the Bible. And it's just a very important thing to know that we can go back 2,000 years ago and organic food was the only food because it was no processed food. So what Nancy wrote about, which was very interesting, kind of ties into in the psychological aspect. We deal with what's called the biopsychosocial effect. And it's biology, psychology, and sociology. And the mixture of the three combined together is how we want to treat the patients. So it's not just about how we feel every day. You and I know that. We know how we feel. It's not just about the social aspect. Sometimes we want to be around people. Sometimes we don't even want to answer the telephone. We just push it off to the side. But there's also the biological aspect, and it's not just the chemotherapy that is harming us, but it's the actual nutrition that we need in order to go in and repair our bodies from what's being done to us. And one of the things that she brought up is the color wheel. And through the color wheel, you have your primary colors. If you go back to first grade, red, yellow, and blue. And from that you can make all your other colors. When your secondary level was red and blue made purple, red and yellow made orange, and blue and yellow made green. So if we take that in her article, which she was writing about for the diet, is actually go in and in the produce section, make sure that those are the colors that we're adding to our baskets and that we're adding to our diets when we get home. So if you look at reds, of course you look at your apples, you look at tomatoes, you look at red bell peppers. Greens, you might have spinaches, you might have different kind of mixed lettuces. Certainly the celery, which I'm very familiar with, not just because I'm from South Louisiana, but being a heart patient who had 4 bypasses done back in January. Yeah, it's been a rough year. So it's important to add these colors to our food, and because each one gives us a different mineral or a different vitamin or a different nutrient that we can add from something that's been taken away from us. So just this morning, for example, I woke up and I was not feeling well. Went to the refrigerator, opened it up, saw a little 8-ounce can of plain yogurt. Okay, big deal. That didn't do anything for me. But I saw some strawberries and some blueberries, and I took those and mixed it together and ate it. It wasn't very much, just a very small 8-ounce cup. But I got 150 to 175 calories in instead of not having any nutrition in me whatsoever. So whether we're dealing with the National Cancer Institute with their booklet on eating hints before, during, and after cancer treatments, and I have these to hand out for anyone that might want to flip through. There's recipes in here as well. Links on the website that you can go to find other recipes. But do not forget, and what I will not forget, is the very simplicity that I can talk to a patient and say, look at the color wheel. All you have to do, remember your little 8-pack of colors that you used to have when you was in first grade or whatever? Take the black and white out, there's 6 other ones left. That's the color wheel. Take that color wheel, go shopping, fill up your buggy with those